Hello guys, welcome you all to my YouTube channel. Today video we are going to talk about JavaScript scopes. So what is this JavaScript scope? So we have in the JavaScript we have three kind of JavaScript scope. That is, one is global scope, second is a functional scope, and third one is block level scope. In this video you will going to learn these three scopes, right? So then without much more talk, let's dive into the video. So scoping. The global scope mean, so whatever the things you are declaring in the main file, it will be get declared in the global scope. So global scope mean if you are using a Windows keyword. So let me show you that in the browser. For example, I am declaring a var using this var keyword. I am creating a one variable, say hello, right? So in this hello, I am assigning a value called Rahim. So in here, so this is basically available to access in the global scope, right? So global scope mean if you are using window, so basically the window is the keyword we are using to access entire Windows functions and other native functionalities in the browser, right? So if I using this Windows and hit the command Windows, right? So here I can see that particular variable which I have declared. Let me show you that hello. You can see here now in the window object I can see this window.hello. If I use this window.hello, I can still accessible this particular variable. So this is what we call global scope. So global scope mean whatever the variable you are declaring, whatever the functions you are declaring, those are declared in the global scope that we can access using this Windows. Likewise, let me create one function. So the function name is say hello, right? And here inside these functions, what I am doing is I'm going to console once this is get called. I'm going to console log that variable which I have declared, that is hello, right? So now the function is declared. If I use this window command, right, and if I search these particular functions which I have declared, let me show you that is still available to access in global scope. Say hello. You can see now here that particular function also available in our global scope. So using this windows.sayHello, this is still accessible, right? So now, yeah, now let's call this function say hello. If I call this function, you can see the name is Rahim. Why? Because using this var keyword, I'm declaring a one variable called hello and assign the value is Rahim. So if I call this say hello, that function, particular function, I'm just calling that particular global variable. So let's say I'm going to access this hello, right? Hello variable, and I'm going to modify with hello to JavaScript. Now the global variable is got updated with the different value. Now if I call this say hello function, you can see hello to JavaScript, the value is get changed. So whatever the things available in the global scope, that is accessible and modifiable. So that's the reason we normally not pull it out or variable everything stuff to global scope. So let's see our other scope, that is functional scope or a local scope. Let me create a one function. Right, inside this function, I'm taking this as say hello 2, and inside this function I'm creating one variable hello message. I want to say hello everyone, and now what I'm doing is I'm just console log this hello message. Now if I call this say hello 2 function, now you can see hello everyone, the message is there. Now I'm going to try to access what is the variable declared inside that particular function. I'm going to try to access that particular variable. So let's see if that accessible. Yeah, going to access this hello msg, you can see here now that particular variable is not accessible to outside because that is a local scope. Inside the function, whatever the variable we are declaring, that is not accessible to outside world. So basically it's not outside, it's not declared in the global scope. Instead of that, it's declared in the function scope or a local scope, right? Let's see now the block scope, right? So to showing this, I'm going to create another function. Let me refresh this browser window tab, and I'm going to create another function, block scope, right? The function name called block scope. So inside this block scope, I'm creating one variable, that is name equal to Rahim. So let's say this is not a constant, it's a variable. Let's go with the, because we in this video I already show you the var keyword, right? Inside I am creating a one condition true. Let's go with true here. If it's true, what I am doing is I'm creating another variable, that is email rahim@gmail.com, right? Assume like that. If I console log this email, what do you think? Is this accessible? Okay, so there's one problem here. Uncat syntax semicolon. Oh, okay. So I know where it was. Okay. Now the block scope. Now if I access this block scope, you can see now rahim@gmail.com is still accessible outside. But we declare that variable inside a one block. Whatever the things we declare inside this particular block, it is block scope. It cannot be accessible outside of the function. But here it is accessible. So declaring a variable using var is not ideal. So this is ES5 syntax. In ES6, they are introduced block level scope, that is using const keyword or using let keyword you can declare variables. Okay, let me show you that with the same example. Let me copy this and give a refresh. So instance will be get removed. Now what I am doing is I make this as a const, right? So now if I access this email, right? So if I access this email, do you think is this going to work, or is this going to print my email? Okay, let's see now. Block scope, I'm calling this function. You can see now here the JavaScript saying uncatch reference error, email is not defined. Why? Because we are using const keyword to declare particular variable. So let's talk about var, let and the const, right? So yes, so var is if you are declaring a variable outside of the function, it will be accessible in the global scope using this window dot what is the variable you declared, you can call that particular name, that is accessible. Same using var keyword, if you are declaring a variable inside the particular function, it's available after end of the block. Even you are call this particular variable, declare variable, still it is accessible, right? That is the reason why ES6 they are introduced this const keyword and const and the let, right? So what this const and let doing is these are introduced as a block level scope. So in this block level scope, so if open bracket and close bracket. Inside, if you are declaring using this const or let, that is not accessible to outside, right? So outside mean even outside of the function. Inside the function, you declaring a one variable like this if condition, and inside this const email, it is not accessible after block is ended. So it's only available inside this block, not available in the outside of the block. Let me explain in the visually so you can easily understand very clearly, right? So here you can see this is how it's look like. So Windows is represent a global scope, right? And inside there's a one box I have created, rectangle, that is function. So assume as a function, that is function that is represented as local or function scope. So inside the function, I have created another block saying the block scope. So this is overall, this is how it's look like overall basically. So consider this is window as this one, the global one, the main one, and inside this global we have the functions. Inside these functions we have a block scopes, so block level scope. So these are three kind of scopes we can see in the JavaScript. So let me elaborate more about in the coding. So example I'm taking, I'm declare a variable var, using this var keyword. I'm declaring a variable hello, so hello world, and the same I'm declaring a variable using this const, that is hello too. Now you can see here inside this functions locus or function scope, I'm declaring a one variable. Sorry, I'm declaring one function, that is say hello. Inside this say hello, we have declared using this let keyword, we have declared another variable, that is email. So email, let me update this one, gmail.com. Now we have the email. Inside this function, I have a block scope that is coming, writing or returning if condition. Inside this if condition, based on the condition, I'm creating a one block level variable using let keyword. So that is phone number. So phone. So here inside the function, after this blocks, this curly braces is end, I'm calling this phone, right? So, and the same I'm using, or I'm going to print this email as well. So now if I try this one, if I call this say hello, right? Say if I call this say hello here, right? If I call this say hello function, what happen is this will giving us a reference error. Why? Because phone is a block scope, it's not accessible to this function scope, right? But this is not available. Let's say we remove this one, email only we have. So whatever the functions outside, whatever the variable we have inside the function, not in a block but outside of the block, that is still accessible inside this particular function scope, right? So email is accessible when we call this function, email will be get printed. Let me show you in the example. Let me show you directly. I'm going to use this console here. So yeah, so let's create var hello world, right? And second hello to hello world, hello world 2. Now I'm creating a function, say hello, right? inside this function I'm creating a variable that is using const email gmail.com, right? And same, I'm going to use a var email 1 and email 2. So let's see, right? So two variables are defined, and inside I'm adding another condition, straight away assigning a true. If it is yes, then what I'm doing is phone, declaring phone number here, right? And I'm using the var and phone 2. If I console log this, phone 1, so let's take this as phone 1, phone 1, right? Phone 1, and here second inside the same function I'm calling this phone 2, right? Now if I call this function name here, you can see now phone 1 is not defined. Why? Because it is only available or it is only accessible inside the particular block, not the outside of the block. So that is the reason why this let and const keyword is introduced in ES6, right guys? So this is what the issue is. Now let's say let me refresh, then everything's get cleared. Now what I'm doing is I'm just comment out this phone 1, and if I call this say hello, the phone 2 will be get print definitely. You can see here. So once again, whatever the, so using this var keyword, if you are declaring inside one kind of a block, it is still accessible to inside this particular function. So doesn't matter whether you are declaring inside the block or a nested block, it is still accessible to function scope. So after you printed this console log that phone number 2, this is still printing your value, right guys? This is the overall things I want to show with you. And one more thing I need to definitely mention you, because yeah, you definitely need to know that. So in the window you can see, you can access this hello variable, right? So which is declared here, but you cannot access this hello 2. Why? Because it is not, it is accessible inside your code, but the thing is it is not accessible or not declaring the Windows scope or a global scope. So this is const and let is just introduced for a block level scoping. So this will really resolving many problems. So if you are work with a JavaScript or writing a code, always go with the const and let. Don't go with a var, because var is defining in the global scope, and it will be very easy to get modified and get replaced that particular variable. So that's the reason. There's a many confusion was going on. So because I'm also, my personal opinion also, I'm not going with the var unless I need. Yeah, so most of the time follow the standard. So const and let will really very helpful when you're coding. So very easy to debug, and it will not giving you any headache to you. So guys, that's pretty much about this JavaScript scoping. I hope you enjoyed this video. So one more small request to all of you. So if you are not yet subscribed my channel, go below and hit the subscribe button. And if you like our videos, hit the thumbs up button as well. Then I will catch you on a new video.